So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our next lesson. And actually in this lesson, we'll talk about perceived value. And actually I will explain you why you should charge more for your products and services. So yeah, we'll talk about how to pick the right price. We'll talk about virtuous cycle of price. And actually we'll talk about high prices equals high value. So without any further ado, let's dive right into it. So ladies and gentlemen, as you can see here on the whiteboard, I'm not a very good artist, but very shortly will make sense. So as you can see here, we have price and value, and there's a gap between these two, and the bigger the gap, the better. So I'll give you an example, like consumers out there, they expect, according to the dollar they spend, to get discounts and high value. So when this gap is minimizing, it reached to a point of cancellation, but I will explain this very shortly. So now about businesses, what happens there is that businesses that actually looking to increase their revenue, they go out and search the market and they actually copying their model businesses out there that they're actually successful, and they actually model as well their product. So they create a similar product and they charge for that product less than their competitors, and that's a very wrong strategy. And the reason is because when they're doing that, they're actually minimizing the gap between price and value, reaching to a point of cancellation. That's where actually consumers will cancel their membership, monthly subscription. They will cancel their orders, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You get the point. Why? Because by lowering the price for a product, you're actually minimizing the gap between price and value. So price and value comes closer. So according to the consumer, the dollar that he spends, he doesn't get the discounts he expects, and he doesn't get the value he expects. So they reach out to a point of cancellation. So that's a very wrong strategy. Alternative, what businesses should do is that increase their value, because by increasing the value, sky's the limit. You can increase it as much as you want. But if you decrease your price at a product, you end up decreasing the price and value gap, as I mentioned before, reaching to a point of cancellation, and eventually your business can hit rock bottom, ending to a result of bankruptcy and getting out of business. Now, what most businesses are actually doing, just like I mentioned before, they look at a marketplace, they see what everyone else offers, take the average, go slightly below to remain competitive, provide what their competitors offers with a little more, and they end up at a value proposition of more for less. Very wrong strategy, ladies and gentlemen. That's what most businesses doing out there. And doing that, they're actually minimizing the gap between price and value. That's actually how markets out there get saturated. Very wrong. And you actually end up into a minus market efficiency. Why? Just like I mentioned before, you're copying a business model that is successful. You're copying their products. You price less. You charge less for these products compared to your competitors. You're minimizing the gap between price and value. So always you're decreasing your price so you can keep that price and value gap higher as much as possible. So you end up into a saturated situation. Just matter of speech. It's like having your head outside of the water, trying to keep yourself afloat. And the result, you are wondering why you're not successful. It's no brainer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what happens to your clients when you're actually decreasing your price in your business? Actually, by decreasing your price to your clients, you're actually decreasing emotional invest. You're decreasing perceived value. You're decreasing results. You're decreasing demandedness, and you're decreasing revenue for fulfillment for customer, and etc. Instead, if you increase the price for your clients, you're actually increasing emotional invest, you're increasing perceived value, you're increasing results, you're increasing demandedness, you're increasing revenue for your fulfillment per customer. Now, what happens for your business if you decrease the price? So if you decrease the price, you decrease the profit. If you decrease the price, you decrease perceived value of sale. If you decrease the price, you decrease the perception of impact. Actually, you're decreasing results for your business. If you decrease the price, you decrease service levels. If you decrease the price, you decrease sales team conviction, and etc. It goes on. Now, if you increase the price for your business, you're actually increasing your profit. Really important. You're increasing a perceived value of sale. You're increasing perception of impact results. You're increasing servicing levels. You're increasing sales team conviction, and that's the way to go. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is it's a real example. It happened a couple of months ago. Actually, I was there. I was actually in Holland, and I was in a wine exhibition. But anyway, long story short, what happens here is that there was a business that they were actually having 3 bottles of wines, and the first bottle had a low price, the middle bottle had a medium price, and the third bottle had a high price. So yeah, the tag prices were on it. So they had these people there, you know, me as well, testing the wine and etc. And what happened is that the people that were testing the first bottle with a low price, they said, tastes good, but it's okay. Then they were tasting the middle bottle with the medium price. And they said, yeah, it's better than the first one, but it's good enough. And then they were tasting the third bottle with a high tag price. And when they were tasting this one, they were like, that's a very tasting wine. That's really good. But ladies and gentlemen, you know what really happened? All 3 of the bottles were the same. It was the same wine. So on the first, middle, and third bottle, they had different tag prices. And actually, these 3 bottles was exactly the same wine. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, just by seeing the price, psychologically, something happens in the backside of your head. It's triggering something. So when you see a higher price, you're actually increasing the value of that product or service. So, ladies and gentlemen, by increasing the price of the product, makes the product better. And actually, by increasing the perception of your clients like it more. They like more your product. Which means price is a component of value in of itself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the goal is be so much more expensive that a consumer must pause and think, this cannot be the same category of solution as everyone else, thereby making you a category of one. It's all a psychological trick, ladies and gentlemen. Before I flip the paper, let me give you a small example. Many years ago, my father had a car dealer shop. He was selling as well used and new cars. So long story short, on the lot where we had the used cars, we had as well a car on a stand that had no price on the windshield. And actually, when families or potential buyers are coming, they were coming there to buy a car. Psychologically, their eyeballs were always following that car. So yeah, when a couple was coming there to buy just a normal car for their daily use, the man or the woman was coming at the car, and they were looking at it around, and there was my father, and he was saying like, how can I help you? And that person was saying, is that car for sale? Like I mentioned before, there was no tag price on the windshield. And my father would say, no, I'm sorry, the car is not for sale. Of course the car was for sale, but he was saying to that potential customer that the car is not for sale. So automatically he was switching the situation, making the consumer eager, asking my father if he were selling it, how much you were selling it. And right there, even that car, the price for that car in the market was like, let's say, I don't know, as an example for the sake of this video, $3,000. My father was saying, well, I'll think about it for $10,000. I can give you a discount if you want. And eventually, psychologically, that person wanted that car. If you understand what I mean. So anyway, let's move on. So, if you can make your price so much disconnected from the marketplace, not just a little more expensive, but significantly more expensive than the rest of the marketplace, then they have to pause. Like, I'll read it again. If you can make your price so much disconnected from the marketplace, not just a little more expensive, but significantly more expensive than the rest of the marketplace, then they have to pause. That's the secret sauce, ladies and gentlemen. Take a piece of paper and a pencil and note it down. So, Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, here's an example. Let's say out there, either offline or online, there's one course somewhere that costs $49. And there's another course that costs $3,997. Now, honestly, between you and me, if you were to choose one of these two courses, which one should you choose? I guarantee and I bet 101% you will choose for this one. And the reason is because, and this one could be much better than this one. But what happens is that when you see a tag price of $49, let's say for that online course, you're going to say, just another course, just like everyone else out there. There's nothing very special. Automatically, I don't think there's a high value in there. But if you see that one, you say, this is different. I don't see many courses out there cost like $3,997. So automatically, psychologically, in your head, the value is increasing. The gap we were explaining before between price and value is growing just by increasing the price. So, ladies and gentlemen, note, if you have something where a client must perform some options in order to be successful, then it will follow the more invested they are. The more invested they will be, which in turn will create better students and better outcomes. So, ladies and gentlemen, by increasing the quality of your prospects, increases the quality of your product. Plain and simple. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it. So, looking forward to see you into my next lesson.